What's up, beautiful people out there? How are you guys doing? This particular video is going to be about the word artificial. Seems pretty simple, right? But the devil is always in the details. Right? The devil's always in the details. So what devilish things do we have in store here? Before we get there, I want to make sure that you guys hit that bell icon and subscribe. Not on this channel, because you probably have already done it, but on all of my other social media channels, which can be found on blacksite32.com on the social media page. I now have 5 more, and we're going to be covering awesome, interesting topics because I have a certain panache for the interesting, the flair, and the dramatic. All right, the fire, as you say. Shall we say? Yes, yes. So everything I cover is definitely going to be interesting, because if you find this channel interesting, the other ones are going to be interesting as well. All right, things that you guys should know, but you don't. And because I've used my entire life, I'm now dedicating all the stuff I've learned to you guys. So check out all of this fire information, guys. Your lives, without promise, I will say, will be greatly enhanced, enlightened, and changed by all this information, because I know it has for me. And you guys are going to have a whole lot of opportunities that I didn't have, because there's so much more you guys can do with this information. And well, I'm just here as a light, as a source. I don't need all the bells and whistles. I'm happy with my little box and my little world as a private sector, national, non-belligerent, non-combatant, providing you guys with education and entertainment purposes only. But you guys can use and do this, and so will your children, my children, children's children's, children's children's children's, as we patriots repatriate to the United States of America. So without further ado, let's get going. And as always, guys, if you see anybody talking smack out there about me or my channel, report them to the YouTube and whatever authorities for slander and defamation of character. Thank you kindly in advance. All right. Now, let's get back to our regularly scheduled program. Share screen, if you would. Shaboing-a-boing. All right. So I know we said we were going to talk about the word artificial, but before we get there, and I know I made a video on the word ens legis, didn't mean to bait click you. No, I always deliver what I promise. That's what she said. All right. So ens legis, which is just another word for artificial, okay? But it means illegal, okay? So what is that? Once again, to recap, this right here means in Latin, okay? So it's a Latin term. A creature of law. So once again, if you didn't watch my other video on ens legis, well, then you should go watch that one, or you can watch this one, because this one's going to have a blurb on what we already covered, and then we're going to go into some other awesome things. So quick recap. It is a creature of law. The word of means not of this, okay? So what it means is if it's a creature of law, it's not a lawful creature, it's of it. Okay, so it's made of a piece of it, but it's not the real thing. You took a hair from off someone's head, son of a bitch, and you cloned them, which means you do not have the real thing, but you've got the next best thing, a copy. So if I took a clone of you, I would have a clone of Mona Lisa, but I wouldn't have the real Mona Lisa. You feel me? So it's a creature of law, just like it's a certificate of live birth, which means it's not the live birth document, the one with the baby feet print on there. Same thing as the birth certificate. Okay, the straw man is a creature of law. So an artificial being, an artifice. Okay, we'll get into that in a minute. As contrasted, so contrary to, a contrast to the natural person. And by the way, this goes out to thelawdictionary.org. I don't know if you guys watch my channel as closely as Cornell Law, but I believe you're supposed to have a space in between A and natural, okay? Or it should be N natural if you want to even go that way, but it should be A natural. Anyway, fix it. Okay? So contrast it to a natural person. So that's us. So that means that this is completely opposite of us, but the next best thing created by a natural person. Applied to corporations. Considered as deriving their existence entirely from law. So this was man-made. I guess technically we're all kind of, well, no, actually technically we're all woman-made. Okay, humanly made. All right, man to man, naturally made. Okay, so they're made from us, but they're not natural. We're natural. Nature. Okay. All right, so let's see here. Make sure you guys are seeing the same screen I'm seeing. Okay, all right. So now we're on the law.com dictionary. All right, so here's where we're getting into the artificial person. Okay, let's look up what artificial means. And I just want to let you guys know personally, if you're actually really hearing my voice right now, thank you for following. I appreciate you, because you could be doing anything else and yet you're taking the time to learn this stuff, which when I was growing up, nobody wanted to know this stuff. Nobody cared. So I appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you. May you have blessings and all of your positive things that you do in life. Now, let's get back to the regularly scheduled program. All right. So as you see here, new legal definitions. So they are, oh yeah. Well, your AK got a drum on it, Oh yeah. They have new legal definitions coming up all the time, guys. They're adding and changing. As we move, they move. They are evolving. Only the 14th Amendment U.S. citizen is not evolving. If you're listening to this, you're definitely not one of those, because that would mean you're an artificial person. Now, you might control one, but that ain't you, because we'd already said from the other video on ens legis, it said that that is a separate and distinct persona in law, or of law. Okay, so scurrilous. I was using scurrilous back in the in my high school days, so it's not really new, but apparently it's new to them, and they've made it a real word. Scurrilous, the making or spreading of defamatory statements. You know, like some of those trolls out there, which is why I ask you guys to hit that bell, like, and subscribe on this channel and all channels, and add yourself to all of my social media groups. Thank you in advance. You can find them at blacksite32.com. All right. Court fee. What? Court fee wasn't a real word before? They just adopted it? So you're telling me before I could have challenged the fact that a court fee is not a legal defined term, and they couldn't charge me for it because it wasn't in existence until now? What the beep, 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 beep. Some dirty mother can't monkey tight shirt, t-shirt wearing beep, beep, beep. Okay, I'm cool. All right. Fee shifting. Shifting fees to be paid by one party to another party. They've been doing this for a long time. They never had this wasn't defined before. Cost shifting. Nascitur es socius. Cyber stalking. Well, yeah, that's a new one. Actual malice. Interpose. Statutory compliance. What? Sealing. Look at all these words, guys. What is this one? Hold on. Absentia. Latin meaning absence. Usually used in terms such as in absentia, meaning absence of physical presence. Okay, so this is probably what they've been trying to use for people who don't show up in court. And that's why you're supposed to either show up, but send in a writ of special appearance before you go, or sending a letter, a writ of special appearance, and that it is in your presence. But they want to say you physically weren't there. Well, paper was there in my regard. Death in absentia, the declaration of someone's death in absence of their physical body, corpse. So yeah, you could say, well, yeah, I didn't physically show up, but this paper speaks in my honor, kind of like a last will and testament, and they recognize those. So here, look, they recognize private entity right here. Don't let them fool you guys. They can talk about they don't know what you're talking about, they won't. Curative action, an action taken to cure or fix a legal defect. Doesn't say lawful, says legal, but okay. For example, under Code of Federal Regulations, okay, correct defects in the title. Okay. All right. So anyway, it's not our main focus. As you see, I get distracted because there's lots of goodies. Now, if you're here, you can also use their free attorney case review. So if you want your case reviewed by one of them's, okay, have an attorney look at it. Free case review. Don't tell me I don't provide you guys with stuff. I haven't seen anybody really provide you guys really with as much stuff as me. Well, maybe one or two. All right. Anyway, get on with it. Artificial. All right, so check it out. Artificial, created by art. That's where the name art comes from. To be artistic, from your mind and not your behind. It was created, unless you got a really, you know what? Never mind. So created by art or by law. Existing only by force. Somebody forced this to be. By force of or in contemplation of law. Artificial. Patent law, a natural force so transformed in character or... So this right here is a natural force. So something real, like a human being. Transformed in character. You were transformed. Or energies by human power as to possess new capabilities. So to possess new capabilities means you are not the same thing. You've been added on to, transformed. Transformers. Okay? And if somebody else did that to you, then they have jurisdiction to say that they gave you those powers. This transformation of natural force into a force. So look, a natural force into a force. So it's something different. And if you can change something and make it different, you own it. Get down, own it. I mother own it. Okay? Practically new. So they change you from something to something practically new. Are you hearing it? Is it sinking in? Involves a true new inventive act. You modified it. You made it something new. You now own it. Okay? Okay. Now let's go on. As in artificial persons. So just because you hear the word person doesn't mean they're talking about you. They could be using shorthand and saying, oh, person. Well, we all know that it means artificial person. Are you the person? This person must appear. What type of person are you talking about? It's not defined here. Because they can only summon the dead. Artificial persons. They're not summoning you, because if they were summoning you, they'd have an Article 3 signed judicial warrant. They're summoning the dead. Persons created and devised by human laws. Persons. Okay, once again, here. They didn't say artificial person, but we know it's that because it's in the chapter that we're reading. Otherwise, it would say natural persons, the living, human being. Persons created, because you can't really just create a person out of law, out of a woman's womb, yes, but not out of law, or maybe out of the law womb. The law room? Interesting. Persons created and devised by what? Devised by human laws. So human laws created this artificial person for the purposes of society and government, as distinguished from, shot goes out to Percy J, from natural persons. It says it all right there. Corporations are examples of artificial persons. And corporations, legal entities, juridical persons, are identified by their all capitalized or upper and lowercase lettering. You've been changed, you've been modified from the all lowercase lettering. All natural before the Lord, humble in your smallest natural form. Artificial persons. Right here, person, a man considered according to his rank he holds in society with all rights. Okay? But if they don't define the term person, you don't know if it's talking about a person or an artificial person. Guess what? In Brazil, they don't call it a Brazilian nut. You know what they call a Brazilian nut in Brazil? A nut. So when in their when they're in their circus, they're not going to call a person an artificial person because they already know what it is. It's just a nut in Brazil. And when you're in their juridical hemisphere, a person is an artificial person unless they dictate it as a natural person. The natural person must appear, but in order for the natural person to appear, they have to have a Article 3 judicially signed by a judge warrant. And they must not have deprived you of your due process. They have to have a warrant to take you or your property. So they're asking you to show. They're asking, they are summoning the dead. Natural fruits. Yeah, because now you have to, is it natural? Or has it been GMO modified? Which is not necessarily bad, not necessarily good. Hell, we don't know. Aliens might have come down here and GMO'd everything that we have now, and what we think is natural has actually been GMO'd by aliens or ancient ancestors. We don't know. I know I don't like mankind today messing with it. That's just me. Okay, so artificial person. Let's take a look. In a figurative sense, so meaning not real in thought and by paper drawn, a body of a man, so resembling a man in form, but not a man. Remember when I told you guys before, of, powerful word. So it's the body of a man, but it's not a man. Matter of fact, this says a body of men. Not men, not a man, but in appearance, figuratively. But it says here, or a company. So yeah, nothing special here. So here they're trying to Jedi mind trick you. Yeah, it's like a man. You're a man. You're a legal person. Yeah, that's you. No, it's like you, ain't you? Clone at best. But over here, Shazam, it is a company, which is an artificial person. So it looks like a man, but it's not. It's got its name. It has some given rights, some privileges, some legal ability, are sometimes called artificial persons because the law associates them as one and gives them various, okay, not defined here, but various powers possessed by what? What? Natural persons. Blah, 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 this, and that. Comes into Latin, talking about some Roman, and defined by, notice here how these things are in all capitalized letters because they're artificial. Okay. That all capitalized thing. Okay, that's capitalization. It's capitis in Latin. Yes, I speak some Latin. Okay, and says here, this is a loss, or it says was, still is. But in the Roman times, so this is where it came from. They're still carrying over Roman law. UCC is owned by the Unidroit, owned by the Vatican. We're still using Roman law. This was a loss or curtailment of a man's status or aggregate of his legal abilities. They were removed, turned into a slave. The all capitalized name was used to depict slaves. You're dead. You lost your family name, your family rights. It represented that by putting in all capitalized. That's why your name is in all capitalized on your tombstones, your headstones, your death name, because you're dead. Those are dead things. Dead things are represented by all capitalized letters. And it was three of kinds. Capitis, diminutio, maxima. And what does it say here? Capitis, diminutio. So capitis means capitalization. Diminutio is diminishment. And it means maximum, maxima, Latin. What does this mean? All capitalized letters is the highest or most comprehensive loss of status. This occurred when a man's condition was changed, meaning, wait, I'll just read it. It says it. When a man's condition was changed from one freedom to another of bondage. Boo-yah-kasha. When he became a slave, it swept away with it all rights. This is why when you deal with this, your all caps name that they give you from the state, you've lost your rights of citizenship and all family rights. You are no longer under the United States of America Constitution. No, sir. You, sir, are now under the state of, which is a corporation, for profit, doing business here in the United States of America. Capitis diminutio media. Media means medium or in the middle. A lesser, so this is your upper and lowercase name. Still in it. You can't play just tip with a hooker, all right? A lesser or medium loss of status. This occurs when a man's rights and citizenship, but without losing his liberty. So when they address you with your all uppercase name or uppercase and lower, you're taking a lesser plea. It carried away it also carried away the family rights. So you didn't lose your liberty, but you lost your family name, your rights to your nation. Capitis diminutio minima. Minima, minimum. Minimal, minimum. Blah, 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 blah. Minute, minimum, minimalist. Minimize. Minute. The lowest or least comprehensive degree of loss of status. At least they're still saying you're losing your status, but it's the least. This occurs where a man's family relations alone were changed. So you might have married into a new family. But notice here, they didn't say you lost your freedom, bondage, any other stuff. This is your name in all lowercase lettering, your given name. You still have your family rights. It happened upon the aggregation of a person who had been his own master. Sui juris. People like well, I won't mention names, but people I know, I'm going to go in there pro se. I'm going to go in there this and that. Okay. But you're not your own master unless you're telling them you're coming in there sui juris. You are your own master. Come on, man. People trying to step. They ain't moving right. You can't see, walk over here, son. You ain't got them skills. Your judo, your kung fu, your jeet kune do is weak. Sui juris, right here. In the law dictionary, black laws. Boom, shakalaka. Get with you. Holla at your boy. Can I get an amen? Can I get a hallelujah? They've been telling you guys the whole time what's going on. You're not looking for it. What they've been telling. Okay, I'll get to it. Or upon emancipation, meaning at 17, 16, you can get emancipated from your parents. You are your own master. You've been emancipated. Have you been emancipated legally? So of one who had been under the patria potesta, papa, your father's rule. It left the rights of liberty and citizenship unaltered. Your liberty and citizenship is unaltered with your name in all lowercase lettering. Romans law. Here, there you go. They've been trying to tell you guys the entire time what's going on, but nobody wanted to do the footwork. And you know what? That is not their problem. So for the first time, probably on my channel, to the various agencies and people and agents and system and juridical people out there and legal people out there, it's not fraud, because we don't know how to do commerce. It's all been right there. And this is all considered international law, international contract law. You guys don't know how to do commerce. Now, I'm not saying I'm perfect or flawless by any means. I'm just a nerd who likes to have a little fun. Kind of easy on the eyes. At least that's what the ladies and the guys tell me. We don't know how to do commerce. Commercial, commerce, the commerce of the sea of commerce. Because it ebbs and flows, and wherever things ebbs and flows, that's where the money is made. That's where the action happens, Captain. You don't know how to sail. You don't know how to do business on the open waters. So they brought you in. The government, the American government at one point in time said, hey, we're going to create a federal government. Federal government, you go out there and you contract some people to do the work for you. Okay. So in comes the United States corporation, looking like it's de jure America. They said, well, if we don't look like we're American, Americans ain't going to listen to us. So they let them slide, do a little work underneath the banner. Looks like ours, color of law. Okay. There's still lots of money to be made here. They're not leaving anytime soon, if ever. So we need to learn how to operate correctly. So whether you change your status or not, you're still going to be here doing business, but now you can do business as an informed private person operating their legal fiction, their nom de guerre. In Latin, your war name. And I'm not at war. I'm a neutral party. Treaty with the United States. I do business with everybody. Okay. So that's it, guys. You now know more than you knew before. And I just proved it, because I like to show you guys where the rubber meets the road. Unlike some gurus out there, buy my $18 kajillion $1,000 course. I'm going to give you tidbits, make a whole lot of money. Or you can come to the Badwolf and give them a nickel or and a dime and receive thousands of dollars worth of free information and free files. And all I ask is that you be loyal and support your man, which, by the way, if you didn't know, you can go to blacksite32.com and now click on the donation page and send in a random donation once a month, twice a month, every day, every month, whatever you want to do. Okay. So no more emailing me. Well, I would send a donation, but I don't know, it's hard. I don't know where your link is. And you can still join the Wolf Pack on YouTube and support monthly there and have access to all the non-public videos that I make there. Not dirty, just not public. Stuff you kind of share in the private. Because as you guys don't understand, they control everything in the public, so sometimes you need to make sure things stay private. But all truth comes to light. That's not my job. That's on the future generations. I'm just a light in the storm, center of the storm. It's peaceful here. It's quiet. I like this. It's nice. Tabula rasa. That's Latin. All right. So I will talk to you guys later. Enjoy. Join my social media platforms on my other YouTube channels. You can find them all on Black Site 32 on the social media page. And I'll talk to you guys later.